quiet, reflected, and then when Dr. Indra Bank said, Mr. Kamath, why did Enron and WorldCom go down? He said, where the promoters there, the leaders and the senior management there, where they cheats, where the people who made personal money, where the people who did any those kind of things. No, they did not do any of those things. But they had put the company to that a level of risk because of certain decisions, strategic decisions they made in the domain of people management, in the domain of how they drove performance, in the domain of how they looked at giving emphasis to certain dimensions of human behavior within the organization. That is what drove what happened to Enron and WorldCom. And then he made this profound statement. He said, when you are a challenger and when you are small, and then when you are aggressive and in the face, you are lovable to people and people cheer you on. But when you become big and a leader, and if you continue to be aggressive, people see you as a bully and they want to take you down. They don't like you because they fear you now. And then he went on to say, size and strength should lead to statesmanly behavior. And Enron and WorldCom could not transition the company from being a successful, large player to becoming a statesmanly company. To me and Mr. Kamath, it was as if somebody kicked us in our solar plexus. We doubled up in pain. And we kept quiet for some time. And that's where the baton was handed over by Kamath, who initiated it to Chanda, to be able to transform ICICI from being a company which has a vaulting ambition and which led to certain way by which we ran the company, and that led to certain behaviors. Because if you had seen our sales meetings in 2006 and 2007, we would not have been very charitable about our competition. We would have used words like kill them or certain other, ICICI never used an objectionable, derogatory, abusive word ever in its discourse in the company. No leader ever did it. But most meetings will be war cries. So it came to Chanda, and Chanda had the challenge of transforming the company into a company which is collaborative with every stakeholder, sensitive, and a company which brought warmth. So the phase which Chanda led was a phase in which we had to really move ICICI, and into this phase is when the existential challenge for ICICI, for what Kamath feared happened in 2008, of August in 2008, of September, when our existence was threatened with a run on the bank. And those were the days when people like Chanda, Vaidyanathan, Madhavi, Ramkumar, we were all so angry to say, here is a company with 60,000 crores of net worth, and how the hell that people say that we will go bankrupt? For some 2,000 crores of bad debts or 5,000 crores of bad debt, will ICICI go down? And that is when it struck. And I have to tell, in those times, the manner in which Chanda conducted herself, was something which was a lesson to all of us who are around her. The equanimity with which she brought herself about, the way she reduced panic in tens of thousands of employees of ICICI by bringing reassurance to everybody by saying, look guys, don't worry. This is public anger against us and it is not public disapproval of us. People are giving us a slap. But people love us. People like us. They don't want to kill us. So learn from this, my colleagues. And now that is when the Khayal Aapka ICICI was born. It was not a campaign. It was not only an advertisement. It was a complete transformation of the body, soul and mind of a company to becoming a company which is at peace with itself. A company which says that I don't have to strut around. A company which had to say, I don't have to be in the face. A company which said, I can coexist with my competition. A company which said, I would be sensitive first to my employees. That's where the Saath Aapka plank within, where we said to our employees, we are with you. And then we told our employees, because we are with you, we want you to be with our customers. So that was the phase which Chanda led, and of transforming a alpha male masculine company. I wouldn't say she transformed it to be a feminine company. She transformed it to be a company which was a combination of the masculine and the feminine integration, the Ardhanarishwara, the beauty of one of the things I hope it's, please don't misunderstand me when I say it, and I'm not anymore part of executive management of ICICI. At least there were 5 companies to which I went, and during this demonetization phase, all the 5 companies told me to me now I am not an executive of ICICI. They told me how much they were appreciative of my boys and girls in ICICI for the service they brought during this last 40 days for their employees by coming to their offices and serving them in their office. And that is the ICICI which Chanda transformed. A warm, sensitive, caring, and yet competitive ICICI. I will stop my storytelling here. I hope it was useful, and I will leave it to you all to make observation, criticisms, disagree with me, ask me question. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ram. I hope I'm audible. Okay. You were perfectly audible, Ram. You were perfectly audible.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, are we audible, Ram? Again, I want to check so that we can pick up the questions once more.
I can't hear you.
Okay. So, we'll just take the questions, Ram. Any questions which you'd like to ask, Ram? We'll request you to kindly come to the podium and ask the question, please. Or you can voice your questions and we'll ask it, please. Whichever is convenient to you.
So how one deals with risk taking, and it's the phase of unknown. That's if you can share your point of view.
See, I did a tweet chat day before yesterday on leadership, right? In this, I made a statement, and I will make it once again. I believe the heart of leadership is how we weave in trust, perspective, power, and risk appetite. There is no leadership without risk appetite. Let me amplify it. Why I say so, right? I say this so because there is a distinction between management and leadership. I'm not going to be pedantic or academic about it, right? I'm going to make this distinction by saying leadership is when you challenge the status quo of the present, or you are shaping the future. So when you are challenging the status quo, you are altering what is working right now, or you are trying to correct what is not working. Equally, when you are shaping the future, you are shaping it to a vision which at this point of a time is abstract. So by definition, you see the uncertainty in this. By definition, you see the ambiguity in it. And because of this uncertainty and ambiguity which is embedded in this quest for leadership, of altering the status quo or shaping the future, or altering the status quo and shaping the future, risk is embedded in it. But it is important for us to really see, how do we see risk? Whenever we use the word risk, I think for many people, the mind uses the word danger, threat. But if you speak to a Kamath, if you speak to a Wagul, Mr. Nadkarni or Chanda, they would tell you, in their mind, risk was both opportunity and threat. They did not see it as only one. Risk was for them both an opportunity to create value, but there was a potential of a value destruction. And when leaders co-hold this anxiety of will I erode value and the hope that I can create value, so when you co-hold hope and anxiety together, you are able to transform. But when you get weighed down by the anxiety or get enthused only by the hope, my worry is that you may talk transformation, but you may not be able to lead transformation. So to me, there is no possibility of baton change from one individual to other individual, or movement from one context to another context, or from one strategy to another strategy. That is transformation, right? Transformation is change. Transform, change the form. Transform, change the form. Inherent in it is risk. While a sculptor is trying to sculpt a statue out of the stone, until what he has in his mind comes out in the statue, the sculptor is nervous. And my view is that he better be nervous. That is what brings responsibility. But a sculptor should not be anxious. He should bring self-belief in his own vision and in his own hands to really use the chisel and the hammer and take the interfering material out and release the form which until now is not visible to others but only visible to the sculptor. That is the magic of transformation. And that's what the leaders who I created for successively over the last 25 years for ICICI.
Thank you, Ram. Now Mr. Das will ask a question.
Good morning, sir. I'm A.K. Das from ONGC Bombay. Sir, I'm not a finance man, although I'm just curious so much about just putting one basic question, which I do not know how much it will be relevant to you. You have talked to some extent about the consumer banking versus the financing banking. So, from the point of perspective of ICICI business model, what type of priority you give when we compare with the consumer banking with the finance banking? Because both I understand with related to the development of the society and for the satisfaction of the customers and for the development of the nation itself. What I mean is how you prioritize between these two type of bankings. Thank you, sir.
That's what I meant, right? I don't think in ICICI we say one is important, another is unimportant. And again, the one thing I learned about everything about leadership is balance, right? When we lack balance, the problem with leadership is that a leadership which lacks balance turns turtle, right? It's like a vehicle going over, right? So everything is about balance, right? In ICICI, we believe that if the cycle, for example, take the current cycle, the last 2 to 2.5 years, the last 2 to 2.5 years is very unfriendly for any large corporate credit to be really given, because there